Welcome back, fellow stock traders. I'm here to talk about Tesla again, give you an update on my position, my trade, my gamble, whatever you want to call it. If you haven't seen my first video about my $700,000 bet on Tesla going higher, please watch it. I'm going to put all of these videos in a playlist so you can follow along and see how these progress or this trade progresses and concludes ultimately, right? But today I wanted to take a deeper dive into the technical analysis on Tesla, what I'm seeing, why my conviction continues to be super strong, and why I think the stock might actually be headed to $600 a share, which is quite a bit higher from here, and it's a big call. So let's dive into some charts, and I'll show you what I'm seeing, looking at, and explain it as simply as possible. Let's go. So whenever I'm looking at making a big bet like this, I'm generally screening stocks on a daily time frame. So every candlestick you see here represents 1 day of time. I covered this daily kind of setup already in the last video where Tesla came through the 200-day moving average, through this, what I call a key level here at $290 a share, and everything was turning up and looking good for a potential run higher. You'd hope back to the all-time highs near the $480 mark. But once you've identified something like this, I like to do two things. First, I like to drill down, meaning I like to come up here and change the time frame to 4 hour or 1 hour or 15 minute and start getting increasingly granular to hone in on an entry point, as well as continuing to confirm our conviction as the trade progresses, right? So the first thing I like to do is, here's a look at the 4 hour. There's nothing crazy happening here. What I do like to see is that these moving averages are starting to turn up, right? That's exactly what we want to see. Prices moving higher, moving averages blend that price action in different time intervals. So the purple one you see here is a 21 period exponential moving average. We don't have to get into the details of what that means exactly, but it's a smaller span of time. It's the last 21 bars. The gold one, the green one is a 50 period moving average. Again, the last 50 bars, and the gold one is 100, and the red one you see here is the 200. Now I'm saying period because instead of day, because we're no longer on the daily chart. We're talking each of these candles. So if I take my measurements tool here and I go, okay, where was price 21 periods ago? Or let's just do 100. We're right here. This was 100 periods ago. This was price. And we'll see the gold is where the moving average is today. So it's a blended average of price from here all the way through this mess and now up to where we are today. So nothing crazy on the 4 hour chart. It is confirming what we're seeing on the daily. But as we move down to the hourly, things are much more mature in a sense, where you see that these moving averages are now all starting to point higher and to the right, almost at a 45-degree angle. That's my favorite thing to see because it's a very healthy trend that's developing instead of just a runaway exponential trend. So it's looking very healthy on the hourly chart. I like the way the moving averages are aligned. And yet we had a bull flag here when Tesla was in this consolidation range, and then we broke higher, right? This happened on last Thursday. So everything looks very constructive on the hourly. It looks great on the 4 hour. What about down on the 15 minute? It's very similar to the hourly chart where you've got these moving averages. Again, check out this 45-degree angle. It's very step up trend. We jump up, we consolidate, we jump up, we consolidate, et cetera, et cetera. That's what we want to see. It's a very healthy market. So now that we understand that the 15 minute, the hour are both trending nicely upward, 4 hours still turning around. I really want to see these moving averages get up over the 200 period and cross over. Probably going to see some consolidation as that happens before another leg higher. That would be my bet. But let's go back to the daily for a minute. One thing to look at in terms of potential targets is people like to draw Fibonacci retracement levels. Fibonacci numbers appear everywhere. We see them in nature, a lot in biology, etc. So people use them in trading to say logical levels where price might reach or stall out. So what we saw here, and I tweeted about this, I said the other day on May 12th that Tesla came super close to the 50% retracement level. I wouldn't be surprised to see it kind of consolidate here or stall out a little bit. And that was yesterday. And surprise, we didn't get much consolidation. We did stop there for the day, but we pushed right through it pretty easily today, late in the afternoon, which tells me two things. One, Tesla's got a ton of momentum behind it right now, and it's not stopping at these levels. There's a lot of eyes on it at this point. The trend is very strong, and I'm now looking at the 61.8% Fibonacci level, which would fall at about $356.50. So this is the next short-term target in my mind. Should we see this stock stall out there? Maybe. It's definitely a level that I would imagine other people are looking at. If you scroll back here, that we had this kind of period on the way up back in November where it stalled out. We had this on the way down where it came back up and stalled out before moving further. So it's not just the Fibonacci level that's important here. Again, like we talked about in the last video, it's the confluence. We've got the Fibonacci level. We've got this kind of turbulence that happened. We've got this previously. So there's a lot of price memory at this level, if you will. I wouldn't be surprised if we see this current move stall out and maybe do something like we saw here, develop another bull flag before a push higher. So now that we've talked about short-term price action, let's get excited. Let's look at where we think Tesla could maybe go in a longer term. I'm talking like multiple month type scenario. And that's when I bump it out to the weekly, right? And this can get dangerous, right? You can play this game of like, how high can it go? And you start holding on to something that maybe you should sell. I've been there 100 times, and it never feels good when you hold on too long and you watch a lot of your gains get erased. So with that caveat, let's take a look at what might be able to happen in Tesla over the coming months, maybe the rest of the year, etc. And I genuinely believe we could see a price target somewhere in the 600s, right? And why I think that's possible is this simple chart. We have a very clear channel that we ducked below here before, but we found support here back in mid-April and bounced off. So we've got this channel that we've been obeying quite well. We've got the MACD that's starting to curl higher and it's going to go positive. RSI has a lot of room to run before it's oversold or overbought yet. And when you start thinking about if we had this trajectory, we're looking at about 600. But even if we had a trajectory like we talked about, maybe we stall out here somewhere between 355 and 376, the lower bound of this range that developed when we were putting in the highs. Stalled out there, it came down, and let's see if I can draw a little line here to represent that. If we did something like this, came up and then dipped, and does that happen? It's definitely possible. Is it probable? And that's something that we have to continue to evaluate along the way. So we're not going to get hyped up and say, Tesla's going to $600, ride or die. No, don't be that guy. Don't be so committed to your bag and tying it to your identity that you can't sell when you have substantial gains on the table, right? Because there is always another trade. We're going to do a lot of these. We're going to find these setups. We're going to find these high conviction trades, and we're going to bet hard on them. And then we're going to watch them very closely as they develop. Yeah, I think Tesla could go to $600 a share. If it followed a trajectory like this, we're talking September. My birthday's in September. Let's do it. I'd be over the moon if it got to, hell, I'd be over the moon if we got to 450, 500, to be honest. And maybe I take profits there. But honestly, again, watch each day. I'll continue to do videos like this, and we will evaluate things as they happen, as they unfold, as the market gives us more information. So I hope that gets you hyped up. I know I am. I'll be updating again soon. And until then.